Welcome to SkillCast, the only podcast where you learn transferable skills through real conversations. I'm Nurbanu, your host, and for season 6, we're going deeper, getting more open, and taking conversations to another level. Because some of the most powerful lessons in life don't come from textbooks, they come from people, experiences, and honest discussions. So let's begin. Welcome to SkillCast.
Thank you so much for having me.
How would you like to introduce yourself?
Wow. I would say I'll introduce myself as a survivor because I'm asked multiple times, Ruchi, I've been a speaker, a healer, a doctor, a mother. What has been your biggest achievement? And what I always say is, as a 13-year-old, I was ready to commit suicide. I didn't want to live anymore. And going past it, not giving into that. And I am 41 now, standing here, sitting with you, talking to you. That has been the biggest achievement of my life, making it past the fear and doubt that I don't want to be here anymore.
Wow, you do not look 41, by the way. I never would have guessed. So you mentioned at the age of 13, that's quite young to be feeling that way. Was it something natural? Was it something that's happened in your family life?
Sure. I experienced childhood sexual abuse at the age of 5. And like any other kid, this is way more common than we think. And as a kid, you just bury it deep like nothing happened. You manage to just put it aside, get on with life. Unfortunately, it starts creeping into every part of your life. There was a lot of stress and strain in high school and expectations, parental expectations that I could not match up. All of that coming to the forefront, I didn't know what to do. My mom literally talked to me, held my hand, and well, I'm here talking to you. The next time I was down in the dumps was right after I gave birth to my son. So I wanted to be a present, conscious parent, and this was peak COVID. We went there. I remember looking at my little one and thinking, I don't know what to do because I feel like I'm in complete darkness. I can't even see the light. Like, I don't know what to do. So if I were to give you a visual, I was literally in a dark room and I could not see the light out. And I can feel the guilt and shame, the weights that I had been carrying now for 30 years from what had happened. And in my head, it was like, yeah, what happened, happened. I can't change it. I can't. So what do I do? And so for myself, I would go from one qualification to other, patient appreciation letters, client appreciation. Nothing would fill up my not enoughness bucket. Nothing. So one thing happens, I'm happy, down. Low self-confidence, low self-esteem. Postpartum depression was a mirror that literally was on my face. Ruchi, if you don't drop this guilt and shame that you've been carrying for 30 years, there is no way you're coming out of this dark room. And the urgency was, I want to be present for my newborn. That's where I found rapid transformational therapy that brought me back to myself. I was somebody who would not speak up in a work meeting, leave apart the international stage, feeling like either I'm going to be laughed at or judged or, so everything that you can think of. Rapid transformational therapy, finding it helped me find my way back to myself, free my voice, and be in alignment with my goal, which is choosing to heal myself and helping touch the lives of as many women as I can through my books, through my podcast, through doing the international talks that I do. And that's what I do.
Do you know what I really admire about you? Sure. Being so open about it, coming from an ethnic minority, coming from an Asian background. It's not really talked about, like what's happened in your childhood, and then being so open about how you went through postpartum depression, because these are not things people openly talk about. It's something they keep very private, and especially coming from a South Asian community, it's very much found on why are you opening up? And to be quite frank with you, what I admire is it's empowering that you are okay to say it's okay to not be okay. And that's like a very beautiful thing, because you're really setting the bar really high, and letting other females feel like it's okay. I'm here for you. This is a safe space for you. And I think doing that through your platform, through your podcast, your community that you've built, it's such a lovely way to get people in and getting them to open up. Because the only way we heal is through opening up, to talking about it, and having someone to create that safe space. It doesn't happen often. So I congratulate you for it. And the way that you speak it is just so inviting as well. So lovely to have that.
Thank you so much.
How does your family feel about it? Are you do you find, because obviously you're kind of pushing boundaries right now, breaking the ice. How does your, let's say, your in-laws feel about this?
Well, I mean, okay, I'll give you a mic drop moment there. So while I was on my healing journey, I remember listening to this podcast, and that's why podcasts are so dear to my heart. Mel Robbins was interviewing Lewis Harris. Both of them are my favorites. I'm chopping some vegetables. And the 6'4" sporty guy, he's got everything. Everybody looks up to him. He opened about the sexual abuse he faced as a child, as an 8-year-old. And, you're very welcome to have a look at that. In that moment, I just dropped everything and almost time stopped for me. Because in that moment, I chose to move away from victimhood. I was like, in that moment, I felt seen. I felt heard. And I was like, what if I could be this person? What he was for me in that moment, what if I could be that for someone else? And that's how my first chapter in Voices of Impact worked out. From there, I went on to writing my own book. The idea was to hold it right now and show it in my hand, but I haven't brought it with me. So yes, I had sleepless nights thinking. My parents did not know anything about what happened. My husband knew, my best friend knew, that was it. And I had sleepless nights thinking like, oh my God, my parents, my family, they're going to feel so bad and upset about it. But then, it was a choice. What is more important, them feeling upset, or that girl, that woman, that person reading that book or listening to this podcast? Oh, I'm not the only one. So I think the calling was being Lewis, what Lewis was for me in that moment, being that for somebody else. And I would say freeing my voice, because see, whenever you go with this or anything else, right, what happens is somehow you make it your fault. Something, I lived with it for 30 years. Something's wrong with me. Maybe I'm not a good person. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have told someone. Now, I'll give you an example. You're watching the news and they talk about a 5-year-old who went through, say, something similar. Would you ever say it's that kid's fault? You won't, right? But when you go through something like I mentioned, you blame yourself. And that's a cage. That's literally a cage. Like, you have built walls around yourself to keep yourself safe. You don't realize when those walls actually became a cage and people can't really see you. So when I'm on a stage, I've been to Paris 5 times. I have spoken on multiple women empowerment summits. And literally, when I say, has anyone else gone through it? When I drop my mask, I give another human the permission to drop the mask and be them. I'm okay with my vulnerability because it was never my fault. And what happened, I would say it gives me more compassion, more understanding, more empathy with every single woman I work in the one-to-one space with. Every single time I do a RTT session, I do a heart healing session, 3 things I always hear after is, I feel light, I feel seen, I feel heard. And I think in that moment, I feel in the most alignment with what I'm here to do and who I am.
And that's right. You probably get these goosebumps, like when they, because I feel like it's relieving to you as well. When they relieve, I feel like a layer of you gets relieved as well. It's a bit like we're born with a light, and as we grow up, it's like layers and layers of cloth that kind of filter around it, and then you become a filter. And then it's about kind of removing each layer, and it takes years and years. It's like a lifetime journey, to be honest. Or even, you know what? A lot of people go through this self-realization quite later in life. So we're talking the 60s, the 70s, where they get that light bulb moment. And I think for you to get that light bulb moment quite early in life, I feel like it's like destined for you to be that healer. And that sounds like what the universe wants for you. Like, yes, you got, because I know we had a bit of an offline conversation about you being a general practitioner, of being a doctor in the NHS. And you moved away from that to kind of like what some people still call the woo-woo side of things. Like you mentioned hypnotherapy, healing, and like all of these things are not very people are not very open about these, especially when you're someone from a healthcare profession. So the fact that you've actually had that light bulb moment and you kind of turn that adversity into impact, I think that's really, and it's just really inspiring and really eye-opening as well.
See, I'll be very honest. The inspiration did not come overnight. I am not a completely sorted person. I don't have perfect days. Like, you know,
nobody's perfect, right?
It's about openly speak about it because, like, you know, I have felt a whole lot of podcasts like Light in My Darkness, and you're like, oh, this person is sorted. I can't never be. No, so it's not like that.
It's not a linear journey at all. It is the biggest curve that you can ever meet. You have the highs, the lows. Even though we speak so profoundly about being so enlightened, but enlightened people also struggle as well. Nobody's life is perfect, because if everybody's lives were perfect and there was no struggles, then what's the point of life, right? We need these struggles. It makes it more fun, right? It's all about the joy.
Challenges and obstacles bring out the best in you. If they were not there, you know, all the people who put you down, all the people who doubted you, who you consider, I don't know, maybe did not have the best they actually brought out the best in you. Like, you know, anything like, oh, that should have never happened in my life. None of us would be the person we are today if it wasn't for that. So I think everything kind of, you know, takes you to what you're meant to be. And you so beautifully mentioned about the light. That's what I say. We all come with this light. You know, we have textbook definitions of trauma to the Instagram reels of trauma. I would just say trauma is a disconnection from who you really are. You know, a child is born, they'll go around with their noses running, their nappy falling. No child ever feels like, oh my God, I'm not looking good enough. What is somebody else thinking of me? You know, we carry on this luggage. And so much so that, like, you know, now the light is all covered up. You know, you can't even know who you really are. And yes, I am a medical doctor, and I would say as a doctor, I was skeptical. If RTT did not transform my life as completely as it did, I would have never ventured into actually training into it and wanting to help other women do that.
How did you become open-minded about it? Did the healthcare system, they always kind of throw you towards medicines, like your antidepressants and this? And how did you say, no, I don't want to do this. I want to do an alternative therapy. I wanted alternative medicine. Where did that even come from?
I'll tell you from my practice, like, you know, although I'm an eye specialist, I meet people who have been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, autoimmune diseases. So anything and everything that medical science says, we don't know the cause, we're going to treat the symptoms, and that's that. My question is, we might not know the cause, but there has to be a cause, right? Because the symptoms these people are telling are real. They're not making it up. You keep scanning the body over and over and you can't find anything. Why? Because your emotions, your physical body, they're connected. And anybody who has a doubt, all of us have felt angry or anxious at some point. When you feel anger, do you not feel anything in your body? You do. When you feel upset. So I would say there is a direct connection between your body. So a whole lot of time we clean our houses, but we keep thoughts and unprocessed emotions pent up. And over time, they start showing up as disease. I worked with a lady who was suffering with fibromyalgia, 26 years of inflammation showing everywhere. And she's just giving up. Beautiful, amazing. She was an artist. And she's like, I don't know what to do. So when you get with hypnotherapy, what you do is, you know, 95% of your life is controlled by your subconscious, and your subconscious and your view about the world was formed by about you when you were 5 or 6 years old, right? So anybody who worries about, oh my God, what is hypnosis? Is it like somebody's going to sit with a pendulum? It's just deep relaxation. So we are giving some rest to your conscious mind. We are going to the subconscious. That's it. It's just deep relaxation. And we're going to the root cause of what's happening, right? I still remember going on the stage for the very first time, October of 2023. I felt like I'm going to die. They're calling out for the speaker. Speaker is sitting in the loo because, well, I'm nauseous and vomiting. Finally, when as I said, you know, I was worried to speak in a work meeting, right? So here I am. Okay. Every time I take one step up, I'm like, I'm going to die. Life's gonna end. And I'm on the stage. The moment I start speaking out, that was my moment. Like, I felt lit up in my system. So, what I would say is magic always lies on the other end of your comfort zone. Always remember that. If I had given up, oh my God, I'm puking and, my stomach's upset, and what if I die on the staircase? None of that happened. But when I went past that, and in that moment, I'm like, I don't know, I can't put it in words even. I was like, I want to be here again. Maybe next time I go in there, I might still feel the discomfort, but I want to live it. I want to be it. And I think that is about freeing my voice, speaking my truth, taking my mask off. And yeah, that's what I help other women do. And all these, as I said, the book, the podcast, all the other things. But most importantly, what I love is speaking, being on multiple stages, interacting with real humans, and have a real human interaction, taking that mask off like, oh my God, my life's so amazing, I'm perfect. I'm like, no, it's not. I've got crazy days. I've got a 5-year-old. I've got a job. I've got clients. And in the book, I also share about when you have bad days, simple tools to help come back to yourself, because bad days won't go away. How you manage that and how you flip. Again, I am not saying suppress the emotion, don't feel the emotion. No, that's okay. There's a difference between taking the message of the energy in motion, which is emotion, or drowning in it. I was somebody who would drown in that emotion, right? Standing back, taking the message, but being able to stand back, right? And yeah. So with the podcast, 2 things I would really love to share with the audience that they can do straight away is, one is I don't know where my phone is. One, I always share in all the speaking gigs that I do is like, I take my phone out. I ask all my audience to do that as well. And I would invite our audience to do that right now. Put the camera facing you. Look at the phone. Again, now repeat with me. So I would say, Ruchi, you say your name. Ruchi, I love you truly, deeply, and unconditionally. I love and accept all parts of you. And this is what I call the self-love phone exercise. It was a self-love mirror exercise, but my dear friend, mom of three, she's like, how many things are you supposed to do it in the morning? Like, I'm like, okay, fair deal. We all have our phones. So I think this is something I started doing 5 years back, and I haven't stopped, right? So this brings, the validation that we constantly, validation, approval, we keep needing from other people. You are giving that to yourself. And I think that is such freedom in itself. It's like, see, people will like you or dislike you. You can't keep chopping and snipping yourself to fit everyone else's box. You have to make a choice of choosing authenticity over approval. As a kid, possibly you did the other way around. But trauma is not a life statement. And again, it doesn't have to be sexual abuse. It could be anything else. I'm 5 years old. My teacher in front of the whole class said something, and a bunch of, 20 kids are laughing at me. Even when I'm sitting in a work meeting, I would not open my mouth thinking like, everybody's going to laugh at me. So why I'm sharing this incident is like, it's not about what happens, but as a 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old, the belief you form about yourself. And if I, who would not open her mouth in a work meeting, if I can be here speaking whatever I want to speak, it's possible for anyone and everyone. So please don't think that, oh, maybe this lady seems sorted, she can do it. Each one of us has a unique gift that we bring to the world. And the school systems can't always, the boxes that we are fitted into, it might not always bring it to the surface, which is fine, Learn to value yourself, love yourself, and accept yourself for who you are. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, the weird, the quirky you that you are.
Just accepting yourself for who you are and giving yourself permission to be who you are. Who cares?
Exactly.
Who cares if people think you're weird?
Yeah. So what? See, turn that weird into unique.
Yeah.
That is your uniqueness.
That is your quirk. That is you.
Exactly.
That is your little edge that you have.
Very good.
Just before we finish off this podcast, let's talk a little bit about conscious parenting.
Yes.
And your stance about that. How are you bringing your son up, which is different to how you've been brought up?
Thank you.
I would love to just tell us a little bit more before we wrap up.
Okay, first thing, even while I was pregnant, every single time I would remember, I would tell him, like, I believe in you, I trust you. And,
Was this in the womb?
yeah. And like literally talking to them, they might not always understand verbally, but kids receive everything you say.
They feel your emotion. If you're stressed, that stress is getting transfused into them.
Exactly. The self-love mirror exercise, when he's around, I do it with him. So I've taught him as well. So my 5-year-old is like, Avye, I love you. Avye, I believe in you. He also does that. So I share the things I do. Second most important thing I would say is, in this day and age, we all want to be perfect parents, amazing parents, present parents, which is great. Please remember you're human. Please remember that, especially for mothers. Second, see, you will make mistakes. It's impossible you won't. Repair is very important. So like, let's say if you were irritable at some point, I will sit down and explain to my kid and tell him, Ave, mama is also learning and growing like you do. Sometimes mama feels emotions which she's still learning to handle, okay? And I accept my fault. So this is what happened. And it wasn't because of what you did, right? So what I would say, something happened, don't put it under the carpet. Oh, we're friends again, everything's okay. No. The kid is going to think like, oh, mom's upset or dad's upset because I did something. No. Always repair. Talk, clear talk. Like, you're also a human, you're also learning. When you make a mistake, accept you make a mistake and make sure you repair. Don't be hard on yourself. And for all the moms out there, I'll just give you a very nice visual. You are like this big picture, okay? So your energy is going into the job, family, kids, whatever else you do. But just imagine, if you don't fill this up again, do you have anything more to give?
Not fill from an empty cup.
Exactly. Self-care is not selfish, and therefore you come first so that you can give from a place of full heart rather than sacrifice. Yeah, that will bring you way more joy. You'll be more present for your family, your child, or everything you do. Be compassionate, be loving for yourself every single day.
How do you, just as a final message,
Sure.
for some of our ladies who are kind of on that fence, that they want to speak out but they're afraid, or they just don't feel that the time is right. They feel like, maybe when my kids are a bit older, I'll feel more liberated. I'll explore this whole healing at that point because I'm too busy right now. What would you say to them?
Life is way shorter than we think, right? Because it's way shorter. You don't have 100 years. You don't even have 80 years. You don't know. I mean, tomorrow morning your alarm will ring and you wake up. You live in the hope of that. Do you really know? Live each day like this is your last, to the fullest. There is no tomorrow. Every single day, live like there is no tomorrow. And when you look back, now that you say that, I love sharing this. So I'll give a very simple visual. Imagine yourself on your deathbed. I don't know, you're 60, 70, 80, 90. And now, nobody's judging you. You're looking back at your life. Just, thank God I didn't do that. Aunt this or uncle that would have laughed at me. Or somebody would have criticized me. Are you going to think that? Or would you like, oh, I should have done that. I do this exercise at least once every couple of months to keep myself in perspective. Am I fitting back again into boxes? Or like, the more real you are, the more authentic you are, the less cages you create for yourself. Your interpersonal relationship, maybe your partner, your child, your parents, they will all become more real. Just imagine this. Like, if I sat here and if I sat like this, how real would this conversation feel, right? That's how we move around. Like, I used to say, only my best friend understands me. Nobody understands me. And I'm like, Ruchi, you move like this in the world. You don't let anybody see you. How can they, right?
Yeah.
I was like, drop the mask. So many beautiful, amazing connections have come into my life. And obviously they existed before. But I think, just drop the mask. People who want to judge, they will judge you anyways. Who cares? Who cares? Some people will like you and some people won't. You're not everyone's cup of tea. You do not dim your shine, okay? And if your light is too much, other people can't handle it, they can wear your sunglasses and you just be you.
Just be who you are.
Exactly. Don't dim it, don't chop it. Just be you. That is your gift, you know? Just be you.
Beautiful. It was so lovely speaking with you. I feel so empowered just being in your space, the energy, the vibe you have in the bio, so people can connect with you, because you're filled with activities, filled with stories. So it's always the storytellers that can really take you on a special journey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.